Hey YouTube, welcome back to GameGenic TCG, and for today's topic we're going to be going over a potential ban list I would like to see after Worlds. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the subject because there's a lot of change that people want to see to our metagame. Our top cuts lately have been looking very homogenous, and it's starting to get to be a problem. Now, I'm going to go over the things I think should probably be looked at, and some of my choices may make people annoyed, some of my choices may be understandable or even wanted, and some of them may be head scratchers, but I'm going to go into my best effort to explain all of them, so I hope you guys enjoy. I will be in California by the end of the week to participate in dual regionals while checking out Worlds for Fusion World and Nationals and Worlds for Masters. So if you guys are going to be at that event, let me know in the comments, and hopefully we can link up and at least like talk, you know, meet some of the people that chill in the comment sections for these videos. Now, with that being said, if you like the video, and if you love the video, join the GameGenic fam today by hitting that subscribe button, maybe even join the Discord, and let's get into the content. Okay, so cut the BS, we are going to talk about the first card on the list, and that is going to be Pilaf. I don't think anybody really has an issue with Pilaf being banned. Some people say that blue is going to die if Pilaf is not here. That is not the case. Pilaf does not do anything, like Pilaf does not crazily help the starting game of blue. Pilaf does not really help the mid game of blue. What Pilaf is pretty much doing that's imbalanced in the game right now is allowing blue to have an end game where they can consistently stay with a healthy amount of combo power in hand / on field, recycle assets, not just like, you know, cards like Pilaf itself, but plenty of things like your draw one trunks, and that's on the lowest end of the spectrum. You can get up to things like Final Hope Slash and just keep getting that back between Pilaf and Videl. You can, in Satan City, bring back almost any relevant card in your deck to dig for other relevant cards that you can't bring back with Pilaf. Like, think about it. You can't bring back a 4-drop Gohan or a 2-drop Videl with Pilaf, but what you can bring back is an Arasa and try to search for your remaining Gohans and Videls. It's just becoming a point where Pilaf is very strange, and most decks always have their strongest points of the game and then their breaking points. Blue does not necessarily have a breaking point because Pilaf exists. At the beginning of the game, they can be extremely defensive. At the mid game, towards late game, they are playing some of their best bombs, and in the late game, they're playing their best bombs while being able to loot Pilafs to stay at a healthy amount of combo power, and that's just not actually it. It's at this point where before, in set 1, maybe set 2, Pilaf was just sitting there helping blue be a good color. As of set 3, it started to kind of shift. Set 4 and 5, Pilaf is really just here making blue operate in places of the game where it should be weak. Blue should, I honestly feel like blue should in the late game be playing some of the strongest bodies in the game while still actually being able to be broken through, and that is the issue Pilaf is causing. If Pilaf goes, Satan City can still be played. Almost every other blue deck can still be played. The main difference though is also, while Pilaf was made to compensate for having to be at 7 cards in hand, and so you can make that like combo power, a lot of blue decks are starting to shift into other ways of stockpiling their advantage, such as drop-based thresholds and things like that. So Pilaf gotta go. Pilaf just gotta go. Now, the next one, this is going to be one that's going to maybe make sense to people. I think that we need to put Majin Buu SR at 1. This game doesn't really like to make erratas, and because it doesn't like to make erratas, the only thing I can think of is putting Buu down to 1. So if you guys have been at this channel before it was GameGenic TCG, back when it was GameGenic DBS, back when it was a Masters only channel pretty much, you guys will understand my argument for hand destruction. Hand destruction can come in 2 ways. It can come through effect, and it can come through pressure. When I attack you at 2 life and you don't want to go down to 1 life, and I attack you for a value like 30k and you have to drop 2 cards because you don't have a super combo, that's hand destruction. I am using pressure to take away from your hand. Now, when you actually end up having you know, a card, 6 cards in hand, and I hit you with a Majin Buu effect and you have to discard 1, that is also hand destruction. Now, when a deck can both aggress you and rip your hand by effect, cough cough Broly BR red in Masters, cough cough Majin Buu evil in yellow in Fusion World, you have a problem here, and that is one of the things that I think is an issue. The Majin Buu SR allows you to passively play and rip apart your opponent's hand, and then once their hand is low enough and you still have all of your gas, you go in on their face and you just start clapping people. Now, One of the other things that I think about this is if I could errata it, I would take the draw off of Majin Buu SR. There is no reason why you should be strengthening your hand while you rip away your opponent's hand. That is where the imbalance lies to me. But since they don't like errataing cards in this game, I do think Majin Buu SR is probably going to, like, it needs to be a one of. I don't want it to get banned. It is going to suck if your opponent sees it, but 25k is not the hardest to get rid of. Now, when they can play multiples, when they can keep playing it throughout the game, that's when it becomes an issue. So in this case, you would want to play your Majin Buu SR, but you would want to play it in a space where, you know it's going to be destroyed. Depending on the deck, maybe you can get around it. But yes, this is going to make the deck a lot worse against blue decks. This is going to make the deck a lot worse against, control-based red decks that are just going to mise it very, very easily. But, keeping it upright, like, it is going to hurt Buu. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of decks have ways to destroy it, and it's not the first Majin Buu SR that normally gets you. It's the second, it's the third, it's the fourth if they see it, but the constant drawing while they rip apart your hand is just too much. Especially with the Majin Buu release we're getting, Majin Buu and Majin Buu card, you won't have the powerhouse that is Majin Buu Evil, but you still have ways to tear apart your opponent's hand. They are just not going to draw at the same time as you tearing apart their hand. So I think that putting this card down to 1 would even the playing field and help us slide away from a Majin Buu oriented meta. Now, the next card I'm going to have on here is the one that a lot of people are going to like roll their eyes at. I still think Android 17 and 18 need to be banned. If you guys have not noticed, and this is not a disputable fact. You guys may be like, you're butthurt about androids. No, I played androids for Nats. I love the deck in what it does because it allows me to play my favorite Gohan card. It allows me to play Broly. However, the thing about it is that androids have hurt the game in terms of design space. Androids are so good at ramping that after androids, they have focused on making non-ramp green decks over and over again. You look at Majin Vegeta, or sorry, you look at Scouter Vegeta trying to stay at 6 energy, 5 to 6 energy. Okay, you see after that you get into, I mean, like, granted, like Piccolo is a ramp one, but we don't talk about Piccolo. We don't talk about that. That's the forbidden one. But yeah, you go to set 4 and you have Scouter Vegeta. He's a non-ramp green deck. You go to set 5. And you have the Namek Goku. Once again, now you go over to Broly, and that guy straight up says if you have 4 energy. Like, they keep making these decks that are not trying to go to a gajillion energy because they are afraid of the design space that Android 17 and 18 has caused. If you make anything that requires high ramp, that deck will hit it faster than any other deck, and we've already seen that you only need a little bit of breathing room for androids to be stupid, and that's going to be a problem. I like formats that are more mid-range. I don't mind when it's a mid-range format. I don't mind when it's a little more aggressive like we are now. I don't mind when it's a little more control-y like it could be in the future. But at this point, you cannot make a control-y based format when androids exist the way they are, because while the deck may be done right now, all you have to do is slow down the format by 1 or 2 turns and androids are right back where they used to be with a couple new toys. So I think 17 and 18 needs to be banned so they can get back to green being a ramp color instead of a gimmick color. The G in green should not stand for gimmick. And once Android 17 and 18 are gone, we can get back to that. If they just have Jiro's Lab and the normal amount of ramp, that's fine. They kind of are a little bit better than certain other things, but as we get more and more field card destruction, it's going to kind of fall off in terms of them being more effective than other colors. I just want us to get back to green being able to do what it does, and that is ramping. And they can't do that as long as Android's right here. Now, the last card I wanted to talk about, and this one is going to be a little weird for some of you guys thinking about it. I am a red player. I like red. It's been my favorite color in this game since pretty much since the start. But I think that U7 Goku, like I think the UI Goku FCR, it's not ban worthy yet, but I think it's at a point where, like, I don't want to say limit it to 1, but it needs to be under review. We need to watch that card. Since its release in set 4, Red's entire in-game has focused around how many copies you see of that card. It can be the turn of a tide. Like, you could literally lose a game because you saw one of them on curve, but win the same situation if you just turn 6, turn 7, and turn 8'd your secret rares. And that's kind of wild. That says a lot about the strength of a singular card when the functionality of an entire color is either there or not there, depending on whether this card is seen, whether this card is ever printed. If this secret rare was never printed, red would not be a playable color right now. And that's actually insane. When you're playing against Jiren, most of what Jiren does is negligible until they start playing this SS4, or SS4, this Ultra Instinct on top of a 20k body, on top of their very defensive plays. I mean, the blue matchup normally is a death sentence for red, but when you play this Goku, they are forced, if they don't play Absolute Lightning or see you, they are forced to play a Zeno in most cases to get rid of that guy. And if they don't have the Zeno by any means, and you play a second one, you're gonna start beating down on them. Now the second one's kind of risky because if they do draw the Zeno, I mean that's them's your cheeks. But the point is, I think that while he may not be bannable now or limitable now, you definitely have to look at UI Goku as a dev and just wonder, what are we basing red off of? Because with a card that strong, there is going to come a point in the dev track where they are going to start shaping red around that card's existence, around the fact that, oh, we can't make a strong 5-drop because what if you play that 5-drop and then followed up with a UI that's broken? If that's the case, the UI needs to be looked at so that we can make better 5-drops, not the other way around. So that's my watch list. That's my honorary mention. UI Goku SCR needs to be looked at, and you know, we'll move from there. But yeah, those are my thoughts for things that should be banned, things that should be limited, and things that we should be looking at towards the future. Let me know if you guys have any other ones that you're thinking about, right? And once again, let me know if I will see you in California. I'd love to get in some pickup games if we have the time. I'll be chilling around. I'll be there from Thursday till Monday, so we can hopefully link up, see what's good, and hopefully, yeah, I will see you there. We are gonna have a great time. I cannot wait to compete and get my first crack at these prizes. Have fingers crossed, but I think I can be well positioned for this. I'm pretty excited. So with that out of the way, real quick, once again, as per usual, I want to give a special shout out to all the Patreon members that give me that extra oomph and allow me to do what I do. On top of that, I want to give a special shout out to the highest of the high tiered Patreon members that are the Big Daddy Flapjacks, the Beer R's, the Brother Bears, the Bryce R's, the Dallas S's, and the Daniel N's of the world. Those are my realm of Xers. That's my tallest tier. Thank you guys for being on there, and if you ever want to drop by the Patreon, just support. There's even a $1 tier if you just want to just be like, hey, I'm supporting one of my favorite YouTubers, and I'd appreciate that a lot. So with that being said, I will see you guys. We have one more Patreon testing night before I go to California, so if you want to show up on Wednesday in the Patreon, just listen to this video, come through, we'll rock it, and yeah, generally we'll have a great time. So thank you guys. I'll see you later. Peace.